Hello and welcome to the City Show. I'm your host, Dr. Tom Krieger. It's been a while since we've been with you, so that means we're going to have a big show for you today. Casey Burdick will be here today to talk about the annual tree lighting ceremony here in Lebanon. Michael Koyen will be back to talk about the holiday programming coming up at the Warren County Historical Society. That's going to be awesome. We'll even get a visit from some of the cast members of the La Comedia Dinner Theatre production of, you guessed it, White Christmas. But before all that, Angie Smith from the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce is here to get us ready for the 2022 Historic Lebanon Horse-Drawn Carriage Parade and Festival. That's a mouthful. I'm tired. And she's got with her for moral support, Adam Ray. Adam, I don't know what that meant, but she said you do everything. So without Adam, this would not be a parade. So this is the 33rd year. Mm-hmm. Is that exciting?
It is.
Man, and this is your big gig. You do a lot of things, but this is the big one.
This is big.
Yeah. So after this, do you take a vacation, take a break, and get
I
ready
do.
for next year?
I take a mental break, vacation, kind of regroup for the next year.
Okay. And Adam, what's your role in this? Are you with the chamber, or are you just?
I started with doing stuff with the chamber years ago when I worked in Lebanon, and I've just carried on this job. I worked with the former guy Joe Wilson, and I worked with him for a number of years. And then when Joe retired, he passed the reins on to me. So basically, what we do is it's starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. I meet the horsemen here, and we get them throughout the day, working with them, making sure everything gets lined up, everybody gets set, everybody's taken care of, and we launch the parades at 1 and at 7 o'clock.
He makes it sound so easy. Yeah, so he's your horse guy.
He is.
I like how the reins. That was awesome. So Saturday, December 3rd, is going to be the date, the 33rd Annual Carriage Parade, and it's our signature event. What new features do we have to look forward to this year?
So,
any elephants or giraffes or anything?
No elephants or giraffes.
Okay.
We do have a few new carriages, but we try to keep it the same and keep it traditional to what it's always been. So it'll continue to be just strictly horse-drawn carriages.
Nice.
Last year we added the reserve boxes for people to reserve a specific spot.
Yeah.
So we did bring those back again. Okay. So we try to bring in a few new vendors and few new carriages, but as far as overall, we try to keep it traditional.
Let's look at that. That's spectacular. Yeah. How do you improve on something that's just perfect? Now the boxes that you mentioned, how did that work out?
It was great.
Yeah.
It worked out really well. We sold out. In fact, you can see them right there.
You pay for those.
You do.
Okay.
You do. We're sold out. I think we actually have one afternoon box left.
Wow.
If you notice, you can see them in the pictures right there. And it just gives families and friends an opportunity to have a spot designated, guaranteed for them. They don't have to be in a crowded, jumbled up spot. They can sit and enjoy the parade front row.
It's interesting. You see all the seats, everyone bringing their lawn chairs out there. Yeah. And so has that done away with some of the better seats? And so you have the best places blocked out?
So the way the boxes work, it actually is in the parking spaces between Mulberry and Silver. And so we go up about a foot on the sidewalk just to give those people that have reserved a box a little bit of space so they don't have people sitting right on top of them. So people are still able to set chairs out. They just cannot lock them down for security and safety issues. So people...
What a better experience. Whose idea was that? What a great experience.
It was... several of us trying to figure out a way to,
because who wouldn't pay for a better seat? Yeah,
that's right.
So how many entries do you have lined up for this year?
I believe we have about 70.
Oh my gosh!
And give or take, we could end up with a number more or a lot more between now and the first week or first Saturday in December. So we could put 90 carriages on the road, or we could have put 75 on the road. It's which ones we get registered and which ones show up.
Yeah.
And we're more than happy to have the ones that we have. going on the road.
Logistically, that must be kind of challenging because you got all those animals, but you've done this. How many years have you done this?
I believe it was 2005 or 6 is when I started.
Wow.
And logistically, it's on my end. It's a team of people that getting them lined up, getting everybody funneled in, getting them all out on the parade route, and making sure everybody gets ready for that 1 o'clock and that 7 o'clock parade time.
So how soon do people need to get there to make sure they're situated? The shows are 1 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine people are getting their chairs out the day before, probably.
Some start on Thursday.
Okay, my gosh.
Yeah.
So as far as, would you suggest people try to get out there a few hours ahead of time or an hour ahead of time?
If they're going to get there, I would say get there a couple hours in advance.
Okay.
The roads are going to shut down at about 12:30 and 6:30.
Okay.
So they'll start shutting everything down to make it a safe parade. So if you're wanting to get into town and be able to get and see the parade and be able to have a good spot, I would say you want to get there a couple hours ahead of time. If you're going to get there half an hour before, it's going to be a tough one.
And are the routes for the parade, are they the same?
They're the same.
Okay. And as far as the vendors, who are you going to have at the festival? What kind of stuff? Are they going to have food and beverages in addition to our local restaurants?
We do. So right now we're looking at about 80 vendors.
Oh my.
And that's from food to craft to like Christmas decorations to what we call direct sell or pop-up shops. Craft items. We have a variety of vendors that'll be at our carriage parade.
And the parade is time-wise, is that about an hour lengthwise?
We like to keep it at about an hour.
Okay.
That keeps everybody happy, and we're not shutting too much down for too terribly long. So we like to keep it at about an hour or less.
So that leaves you with a little bit of time between the 1 o'clock and the 7 o'clock parade. So what do you have for entertainment in between there?
So we actually have entertainment starting at 10 a.m. and running through right before the parade starts at 7. We obviously take a break, usually 30 minutes before the 1 o'clock and 30 minutes before the 7. So we have some of our local musicians will come out.
Okay.
We have our high school drum line. They will come out and play. We have several dance teams that come out and dance, really trying to keep it local talent. And we're super excited. I'll tell you, no one knows.
Okay.
Blake Tyler is actually going to be our featured band right before the 1 o'clock.
Wow.
And then Jesse Lynn will be the featured band right before the 7 o'clock.
Well, that's exciting. Now, it must take a small army to pull this off as far as the volunteers.
It does.
Are there still opportunities for volunteers to come forward and help and assist?
We will never turn a volunteer away for that day at all. It usually takes around 80 to 90 volunteers for the entire day.
Yeah.
From the Horseman area down to the downtown festival area. It really does take a army.
Wow.
From safety to helping coordinate and line up the carriages, getting people to their carriage that are riding in it, helping vendors set up, helping with entertainment, we have more runners just for the chamber. But it does. I mean, I don't think people realize exactly what all goes on behind the scenes, but it does definitely takes a village.
Now, it's probably impossible to calculate exactly how many people invade our town on that day, but if you were to speculate a number, how many? 20,000? 50,000? 100?
I think last year we were right at 100,000.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
They always estimate, and it's in the tens of more than tens of thousands.
Any suggestions as far as parking?
Get here early.
Yeah.
There are some designated parking areas, but it's going to be there's going to be a lot of people.
Okay.
So get here early, find a space.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't try to get here at the very last minute if you're to get a space.
Okay.
And I would suggest the fairgrounds. They can park at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Of course, the city parking. Several of our local churches are offering reserve parking at a small fee.
Okay.
That fee goes back to help those churches with various programs. So there's opportunities. is it a lot?
Yeah.
Is it going to fit everybody? Probably not. But, you know, there's a lot of space at the fairgrounds for sure.
Lebanon's such a beautiful town. Wear your tennis shoes, get a nice walk in. You know, make it an exercise / parade. That's what we should probably do, is have a 2K or a 5K walk, except walk to the parade and then walk back somewhere else. Just a thought. So how can we help support to make sure this parade continues? Are there any obstacles that work against this?
Honestly, through sponsorship
Yeah, okay.
and, you know, just community support. Through the sponsorship, we're able to put on, you know, the
Yeah.
parade. We're a nonprofit organization, you know, staff of 2.
Yeah.
And so through the sponsorship, financially, we're able to continue to have this event, as well as to get carriages and the horsemen here. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
So just to bring, you know, like 6 Clydesdales and a carriage, you know, you're looking at what? I think we talked about it, anywhere from $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for that day.
My goodness.
And so being able to offer that incentive to be able to pay them
Yeah.
is something that's important to us.
Okay. Here's a question for you. You've been at a lot of these things. What's your favorite spot to watch the parade?
Well, you know, honestly, anywhere.
Yeah.
But my top pick would probably be obviously on Broadway,
Okay.
where the announcing is going on, and it's just that feel
Yeah.
of Christmas, and you're able to see it. But I also like it back on Cherry Street, especially at night, because it's not as lit up and
Yeah.
loud, and you kind of get to see all the lights and the carriages and all that too.
And you got a backstage pass, so you get to see all the stuff. People don't see. Any quick stories on that as far as, I'm always curious about how they handle the poop, because you got all those horses. You got to have some volunteers to clean that up. That's got to be.
Fortunately,
City
the
workers.
horsemen do
Yeah.
police their areas, but the city workers are fantastic. They help us with that, and for the horsemen, it is as much of a tradition for them as it is for everybody that's coming to watch. For them, it's kind of like a reunion. People see each other and they talk.
That's neat. Yeah.
So the horsemen enjoy it, doing it just as much as everybody enjoys seeing them.
Wow, fantastic. Is there anything else that we missed that you'd like to share with our audience before we go?
I think just come out on December 3rd and enjoy it while it's crowded.
Yeah.
You know, we ask that the community just take it all in and understand that on that day it might be a little crowded. But it's a day where we bring people together from all over to kick off the holiday tradition, and to be able to see those faces and those families, literally, like, it just makes me smile.
It's
come out and enjoy it.
It's a great Lebanon tradition. Thanks for everything you do behind the scenes, and Ange, thanks for what you do in front of the scenes. Stay with us. We'll return with Casey Burdick and hear about the holiday tree lighting ceremony right after this break.
Since 1954, Hardee's Interiors has been providing quality furnishings for homes in and around Lebanon, Ohio. Today, you'll still find quality antique and vintage furniture along with new made-in-America furniture of all styles. At Hardee's, you can create a mix of furniture and accessories that truly reflects your personality, all made to last a lifetime. Designers are welcome, and so are you. Hardee's Interiors at 208.5 Wright Avenue or online at hardeesinteriors.com.
When you take a look at a Medicare plan, you have to have it fit for your life. And she has always been one with good information. I could trust her. I knew that she would direct me in the way that I needed to be directed in otherwise an overwhelming situation.
We offer no-cost reviews to help you discover the right plan for you. Your local Medicare Resource Center is located in Lebanon, Ohio, next to the Colony Cinemas.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back. Casey Burdick is back, the Minister of Fun, so that means something fun's going to happen. Our holiday season kicks off on the day after Thanksgiving each year with a tree lighting ceremony in Christmas Tree Park at the corner of Broadway and Main Streets. But it's a whole lot more than flipping a switch, as we're gonna learn. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You're in the middle of always something busy. I was just talking with you about the mountain bike path back there. I mean, there's always all this new stuff you're bringing. Do you have any idea how long this tradition with the tree lighting has been going on?
I really don't. I asked city manager, and we know
Yeah.
at least 2 decades.
Okay.
So pretty good amount of time.
Now it seems that kind of kicks off the holiday decorating around the town as well. And which departments are you responsible for as far as decorating the city?
Well, I have to give all the credit to the electric department. Those
Okay.
guys are the ones who get out there and put all the decorations up throughout the downtown, as well as doing an awesome job of designing both Christmas Tree Park and Gazebo Park next to the Golden Lamb.
So are they given specific instructions, or do they have some freedom to kind of put their own pizzazz in that?
They do just a great job, so
Wow.
we let them move forward with that. I have no complaints, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome again this year.
When do they pull the lighting down?
Usually we do that after the new year.
Okay. Boy, that's got to be tough. I remember as a kid watching my dad put the lights up, and then after like 5 years of that, they just stayed up longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
So I imagine during the cold months, it's got to be tough for the guys and gals who are working out there. So the tree lighting's Friday, November 25th. What time does it get underway?
So I recommend coming down between 5:15 and 5:30. The last few years we've had a great turnout. So
Okay.
all 4 corners there at Broadway and Main are full of people. So definitely make sure you get down, maybe stop and get some hot chocolate on your way down.
Okay. Now, what else happens besides the tree lighting?
So we also have carriage rides from 1 to 8, and you can jump on the carriage with your family in front of the city building.
Okay.
So that's open and free for everyone to do. So that'll be a lot of fun. A lot of the kids, we have the students from Donovan. They're the ones who actually make the ornaments for the tree.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's fun for the families to kind of come out and try to find their ornament.
Is it difficult to get on the carriage? I mean, do they have multiple carriages there for folks?
No, we have 1 carriage running, but if you don't want to wait in line, I recommend coming earlier in the day, because as it gets to be about 4:30, 5 o'clock, people are starting to gather downtown. So you might have more of a line then. But if you come earlier in the day, you should be able to jump on and off fairly
What a
easy.
great photo opportunity for your family. Now, what about Santa? Is he going to be around?
Oh yeah, Santa's got to be there, of
Okay.
course. So Santa will be in the gazebo in Gazebo Park next to the Golden Lamb from 6 to 8 o'clock. So you can
Okay.
watch the illumination and then come across the street and tell Santa what your wishes are.
Not that that's enough, because it is, but do they have any other entertainment
That's
as well?
that's the majority of the
Okay,
things.
okay.
So definitely recommend people get out and enjoy the downtown, enjoy some of the restaurants, things like that.
Okay, and I imagine the shops are all going to be open. And you mentioned hot chocolate. They have that one place right on the corner.
Yeah, they do great that night. The
I
Lot
bet.
1 Coffee,
I
they
bet.
do.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and they're right there.
They have the best latte that I think I've experienced around here. Now there's also the Shop Local Weekend promotion.
Right.
Is that starting on that
Yeah,
weekend?
that starts, I believe, on Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
So if you have folks have an opportunity, I highly recommend getting out.
Are there more promotions that the shops get involved on that day, or is it just?
I believe they do have some deals going on that weekend. So, I mean, if not, it's still a great opportunity to support.
So do you have a favorite shop?
Oh, it's hard to pick favorites, but it's hard to pick favorites. There's so many good ones.
I love the fact we're getting more diversified with our restaurants, and now we have the where the firehouse used to be, the brewery. Is that open yet?
Yeah, they're open, and they seem to be doing well.
Well, that should be exciting. Be sure to stop in there as well. What else do we need to know on this wonderful event?
It's a great time. So it's definitely family friendly. Plan on standing. Okay. So it's just kind of it's fun. It's fairly quick. Yeah. But it'll keep the kids' attention, and it's just a great tradition here in Lebanon.
Nice. And the carriage rides start at 4:30.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. My goodness. So you do have plenty of time, and Santa's coming at
6.
At 6. Okay. So those are 2 times, and that's November 25th. If you haven't done that, it's just another great event. Thanks for pulling this one off too. I mean, there's so much that you do. We'll be back with Michael Cohen from the Warren County Historical Society right after this break.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Hey, any stop in Lebanon during a holiday should include a visit to the Harmon Museum and the Warren County Historical Society. They're getting it dressed up for the holidays too, and Michael Coyen is here to tell us what we can see there for the next month and a half. Welcome back, Michael. You always got so much going on there.
Almost too much, but we enjoy it.
Now, I understand that you have a gem of a show happening right now at the museum. Can you tell us about that?
The gem of a show runs through the end of the year, through December 31. Okay. And it's a private collection assembled by a fellow who used to be the president of the Dayton Gem and Mineral Show or Society. And it's an incredible collection of minerals, crystals, and precious stones from 158 countries around the world. Wow. If you've never seen amethyst this size of a dinner plate, if you've never seen a quartz crystal that's that big, illuminated from within, if you've never seen a meteorite, a real one, the size of a large soup bowl, I mean, it's amazing, and it's one of the most beautiful shows we've ever had. So we're very excited about presenting that show.
Have you done this show before, or is this a new one?
No. As a matter of fact, my research says it's the first gem, crystal, and mineral show that's been done in Warren County. Wow. And we were looking for something a little different, and it was so popular we were going to end it originally the 1st or the 5th of November, but we've had so many calls of groups from Cincinnati and Dayton coming in to see it that we've extended the show through the 31st. Yeah. And it's especially made a wow impact on students and student groups that come through and see the show.
Well, that's exciting for young people. My grandson Elijah's into that right now, and it's just it's fun watching them get excited. So when people come, in addition to being an exhibit, are there going to be little things they can purchase and take away as well?
No, this is being a private collection. Okay. We're talking perhaps about doing a show where people can come and do that, but that may be later in the spring or summer. But this one is something that he and his wife have collected, and this is only a portion of that collection. And it literally fills the Simmendinger Gallery from one end to the other.
My goodness.
Multiple cases of beautiful stones.
Now on November 25th and 26th and on December 3rd, you have a magical train exhibit that's perfect for youngsters as well. Can you tell us about that?
This is free to the public, so there's no admission required to the museum or to the exhibit. The Dayton N-Track Club, a bunch of gentlemen who really love the N-Track sized trains, each do a section of this gigantic oval that takes up the entire Armstrong Conference Center. It has villages and depots and mountains and tunnels and one train after the other. I mean, it's amazing. And the guys come down and run it, and you can stand and look at all of that. They're there to talk to you about it, encourage you, or perhaps if you have a train collection. It's nothing like a train collection I've ever seen, but it is really quite nice.
And is this new as well? Is this something you've done before?
This, I think, is like the 3rd or 4th year we've done this. And again, the gentlemen always provide it to us, and under the caveat that there's no charge, and we're more than happy to do that. So to come in out of the cold and bring the kids, and it's a wonderful experience.
And was that received pretty well last time you had that?
It was very popular, very popular.
And December 9th through the 11th, you're bringing back a Christmas Carol radio play.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites. We staged this as a 1930s radio play. And what's nice is, if those of us who may have seen people like Jack Benny and the others do their radio programs, they were often filmed in front of a live audience, even though they were a radio program. And you have all of the character collections of all of the tensions. Believe me, I've worked in the theater. I've dealt with actresses who wouldn't go in their dressing rooms because the stems of the roses weren't cut to the proper length. So what we have, not only are we presenting the true version of Dickens' Christmas Carol, with, of course, commercials on Lebanon businesses, past and present, interspiced, we're also allowing the audience to share in the tensions between the actors and actresses and the one-upsmanship that occurred in radio productions in the 30s. And of course there's a Foley, so you'll be able to see how all the noises, the clinking chains and all of that are produced. And we have a great time doing that.
Wow. I can tell you get all lit up just talking about it. That's awesome.
Well, Dickens has that special connection to Lebanon.
There you go.
Right.
So how much are tickets for that, and how do we get them?
Well, you go onto our website, and tickets are $20 for adults and $10 for children, and we'll have a group rate. So if you want to bring X, probably over 10. We haven't quite figured that one out yet. But it is limited seating, and it takes place, it's couched in the middle of the village green, all under low light. Wow. So you get, and the village green will be all decked out for Christmas. Wow. So you really get a good feeling for the work that Dickens did, as well as having some fun with these oddball characters who put these things on.
That sounds magical. And
it is fun.
Saturday, December 10th and the 17th at noon, meet Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus at the Beetle Cabin.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We're having Mr. and Mrs. Claus on the 10th from 1 until 3. And they'll be sitting in front of the great fireplace, and it'll be lit, and kids can pick up their candy canes and talk to Santa and Mrs. Claus. And then on the 17th, they'll be back from 10 until 2.
Yeah.
and the cabin will be open, and the kids can go in and have their pictures taken with Santa and Mrs. Claus, and it's a picture-perfect setting.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, even if it's cold, that fireplace heats that place up like no one's business.
Now that must be the first year of this.
No, this is the second year. We actually did
We
it.
pulled that off last year.
We pulled it
My
off
goodness.
just 3 months after we
Yeah.
dedicated the cabin.
Yeah.
We managed to get it done.
I don't know how you do it. December 14th, Lunch and Learn. Christmas collectibles, Linda Martin. Tell us about that.
Linda is one of those incredible, discerning collectors.
Yeah.
She did a lunch and learn for us where she collected things from Halloween. Things not from our time, but even back to our grandparents' and great-grandparents' time, to show you how the tradition of the holiday goes. So Linda's going to come, and she has this extensive Christmas collection, and people of all ages are going to find some part of that collection to be comfortable with, whether it's the 40s or the 50s or the 60s or the 70s, but it really is an amazing thing, and she's a very engaging presenter, so we're very happy to have her back.
Well, that's wonderful. And New Year's Eve, black and white ball.
This is something new. We were talking, and we thought, you know, we really would like a place to go to have a nice early evening where you could dress up. So what we decided to do was have a black and white ball in the Armstrong Conference Center. There'll be heavy hors d'oeuvres, there'll be raffle baskets and games, there's going to be dancing. Jay Mills will be on the piano playing, and it starts at 6 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock, we'll turn on the big flat screen, and wherever we are, we'll count down the evening, and you can be home in bed by midnight.
I love that. I love that. They're always making fun of me because I get tired. But I get up at 4 in the morning.
Well,
but at 10, I don't make it to 10 too often.
I don't, because when I was young, I spent too many evenings with my grandmother in Guy Lombardo, which shows you my age. At the Waldorf Astoria. But nevertheless, it's a nice evening, and a bit, you know, let's dress up a little bit and have a good time. And I think a nice evening, that's a beautiful maple floor for dancing. So, and I think the raffle baskets are going to be a lot of fun.
Now, how many tickets are available for
We're only
such
going
an
to
event?
allow 80.
Okay.
And it's $75 for a couple and $45 for an individual.
And that includes?
That includes your drinks, it includes the hors d'oeuvres, and your wonderful evening.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right, right.
And it doesn't end there. What's happening at the Glendower Mansion for the holidays?
Well, we are going to decorate Glendower. It's the problem we're having, as most museums, and I just was talking to Megan Wood, the new executive director of the Ohio History Connection, they're having problems with their sites. We're having problems with volunteers to keep the sites open. And our staff is small and it's stretched. So what we're doing this year is we're opening Glendower by appointment to groups of 10 or more only. It's not an open to the general public, simply because of a staffing problem. Now, it will be decorated. It will be decorated more as though the family were inviting you in, and they had suddenly left. So there'll be packages in the process of being wrapped and things. Perhaps they scurried off to a late dinner at someone else's home. But you'll be able to go through the house and enjoy it as well.
That sounds a lot more intimate than having it the other way.
It is. It is. It's a little less commercial.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
nice. So where do we get information on all your programming?
All of that is wchsmuseum.org. Everything's listed. And you can always call the museum if there's a question about anything. We're more than happy to entertain you with that.
Hey, here's a great idea. How about a gift, membership gift for the holidays for somebody? What is something like that cost?
We're doing family memberships. We're working a 2-for-1.
Okay.
So that if you wish to buy a membership to the museum for a family at $45, you get the second one for free as a gift.
That's
and we'll have a
fantastic.
card that you can put in the tree or mail to someone. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful gift.
Yeah, great idea.
So
plans for 2023?
Wow. Well, many people didn't know, but just on November the 5th, we held at the museum the UNESCO World Heritage meeting. They call it an inscription. It's where they divulge to the public for the first time the 40-page dossier that will be voted on in June by UNESCO to make Fort Ancient a World Heritage Site on the same level as Stonehenge or Machu Picchu.
Oh my goodness.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was very thorough, and we were very honored to host UNESCO. But looking forward, we start music at the museum in February with Ron Esposito, who plays Tibetan bowls.
Okay.
Now, you might not be familiar with Ron's playing of Tibetan bowls, but if you've watched any of the Indiana Jones films by his friend Steve Spielberg, some of that music was used in those films.
Wow.
So he's going to start music at the museum. We're going to do a Shakespeare tea in April. We've got a fashion show planned for May. Carol Abbott's art show opens in February, and then we're doing Art in Bloom, where ladies are going to come in and use the paintings and various fabrics in the museum to create floral arrangements all through the museum.
Wow.
So there's just so much. We're trying to get a handle on the calendar.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a very exciting 2023.
It sounds like you got a pretty good handle on it, Mike.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot to do. And we appreciate the volunteers who do it, very much so.
I bet. Yeah. Is there anything else? Do we miss anything?
No. Lunch and Learn start again, of course. They start again in January, and we've got those being lined out. So if you wish to get involved as a volunteer or join as a member, there's certainly a lot to get involved with or just experience.
Man, that's a lot of stuff. The magical train exhibit, a Christmas Carol, meets Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
Right.
Check them out, find out what's going on, and get down there and enjoy some of this stuff.
Sure. Well, we're glad to have you.
Thank you, Michael.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I appreciate you. We'll be back to talk about White Christmas right after this break.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hey, nothing says Christmas quite like the musical White Christmas. La Comedia is running their production through December 30th. Here to tell us about are Andy Donnelly and Liv Kurtz. Yeah, and Andy, welcome back. You've been here before.
Thank you.
Guys, welcome to the City Show.
Thank you.
Give us a little background information. Liv, your first time here.
It is my first time here.
And you are from...
Connecticut originally.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Okay. A little shock coming out here to
Oh, not too much.
Lebanon? Okay.
No. I think that most of the country you can find pockets that seem familiar.
Well, that's neat. And Andy, how about yourself? You went to school out in Ohio, right?
Yeah, I went to Kent State University.
Okay.
I also grew up in Cincinnati.
Okay, well, fantastic. And what is the story of White Christmas? So if somebody out there is not familiar with it, how would you describe the story?
Well, if somebody isn't familiar with it, it's a sort of nostalgic look at.
You want some help? Okay,
Yeah.
it's based off of a movie from 1954 that stars Bing Crosby, Rosemary Clooney, Danny Kaye, and Vera Ellen. And it's a real classic musical comedy in that there's miscommunication that ultimately leads to people falling in love. And it's just, it's a feel-good story for the Christmas season.
You know, they bring musicals back then together so well that the story and everything just flows so well. It really is magical. Do you capture that on the stage too? Is that, because I mean, that's like one of the best, biggest shows. Is there any pressure on you doing
Well,
that?
I hope we capture it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Christmas movie, so I'm just thrilled to be doing it at all, but I hope we're doing it justice.
And at the end, you get to meet people. Do you find this maybe stirs up some of their memories when they were younger? And do you get to see some of that? Do they tell you thanks for bringing back the memory? Or what are some of your stories afterwards with this show? Has it been going long enough, or has it even started
Oh
yet?
yeah. We've done 17 performances of it so far. Are you asking in terms of like meeting people
When you're
in the
meeting
lobby and
people
stuff?
afterwards, are they moved and touched? And
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
Frequently. A lot of people have military connections as well, that the story is about people reconnecting with their commanding officer
about
when
that
they
part.
served in World
Yeah.
War II. And a lot of people are really moved by the military aspect of it.
Now, what challenges, like a show like this, since it's so familiar, does it present to you as actors?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm always very concerned that the audience has a good time.
Okay.
So I try not to get hung up on little things that happen, and just if the people are enjoying what they're seeing, and unless they're lying, the people tell us that they enjoy the show when we get to meet them afterwards.
And the fun thing about doing something that is this iconic is I guess it's a challenge, but it's rewarding to read it and do it like we're the first people to have done it, you know, because we don't have much of a choice, right?
Yeah. And as the production continues and you get into a couple of weeks, obviously it's got to be maybe even more fun. And does it morph into something else beyond what you started with? Does your performance change at all, or are you locked in on this?
You hope you keep getting better with every show.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Finding new things, getting those laughs consistently, you know, finding what people really like night in and night out.
Did you have family members come out and see this one, since this is such a special Christmas time, and people, your family from Connecticut, they must miss you. Hey, why don't you just fly out and catch the show? We'll have a Christmas experience.
I do have family seeing it this week, actually. They
Nice.
haven't seen it yet, but my
Yeah.
folks are coming this weekend, and I have a whole bunch of family in Cleveland.
Okay.
So a lot of them are going to make it.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome. And how about yourself? Anybody come out and watch and cheer you on this one?
Not yet, but I'm from around here, so I have a lot of people planning on making it out.
Now, is this a good show for kids too?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Whole family.
Okay. Well, fantastic. How do we get tickets for this show?
You call the box office, and that number is available at the website, which is lacomedia.com.
Okay. And that's right down there. Obviously, the food is a big part with La Comedia.
Yes.
Any special servings? Anything new going on the buffet? Or is it all the standards that are just spectacular?
Well, there are spectacular signature dishes still available. But the rest of the stuff in between the buffet changes. This one's like a Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, nice.
So there's turkey and stuffing, and I believe they have chicken tempura as well.
Yes, I think they do.
Okay.
Pasta Alfredo.
And this is running through December 30th.
Yes.
And the shows are on the weekends?
Yeah.
Wednesday through Sunday.
Wednesday. And is there a matinee available as well?
Pretty much every day, except a couple Saturdays in November. But it's 2 shows a day for that schedule.
Is there anything else we need to know before we break? You guys have fun with this one? Is this the best one that you get to perform, the White Christmas, or was there something else that you performed in the past that you had more fun with?
It's hard to compare. Every show's a different experience, and every cast is a different experience. But we got really lucky because this cast is lovely.
And what about your character specifically? Who are you playing in this?
I'm playing Betty. It's the Rosemary Clooney role.
Okay.
Which the hardest part of the show for me is not laughing, because there's some really funny people in the cast, and she spends most of the show being upset about something. So I really have to hold that in with this one.
And Andy, who are you playing?
I'm Bob Wallace, which is the Bing Crosby role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you find yourself doing any Bing Crosby accents when you come off the stage? Are you even familiar with that?
Of course I am. Yeah, I love White Christmas too.
Okay.
But if I am, then nobody's telling me.
Okay. So you don't go home with a pipe and go boom, 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 or anything like that.
Maybe I should. Maybe that'd help.
Give that a try. Hey, come out, meet these wonderful people, have a great experience at La Comedia. If you haven't, this is probably one of the best performances to come out and enjoy. So I want to challenge you to try to make this part of your Christmas. Guys, thanks for being here. Best wishes on the performance. How many have you done so far with the White Christmas?
17.
Okay, so you're well polished up. So get out there and enjoy this. Hey, before we leave, I'd like to remind you that if you're looking for a special holiday treat for your children, consider taking a ride on the North Pole Express at Lebanon Mason Monroe Railroad. The Express starts service on November 18th and runs through December 23rd. Information and tickets are available online at LebanonRR.com. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back on December 6th with one more episode of The City Show before we put it to bed for 2022. Thanks for watching.